Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with Black Clover. Last time around, we had 2 new stars, where basically the star announcement ceremony thing took place, and the top 2 squads were Golden Dawn and the Black Bulls, which is pretty interesting. So yeah, along with Yuno and Asta being the two highest earners, basically the MVPs of each of their squads, which there was a bit of a difference in reception from their own teams. All the Black Bulls were like, "Yeah, it's got to be Asta. Asta's our MVP, man." Meanwhile, in Golden Dawn, I mean, Klaus and Mimosa were happy for Yuno, but yeah, I don't think Langris and Alec Dora were very happy. So, well, get fucked. So, do your work, you know? So, you gotta fight terrorists. That's the way of getting more stars, is to fight terrorists. Yuno did it, because, well, I guess they weren't really terrorists, they were just the Diamond Kingdom, but, yeah. Well, he did fight that one witch lady, when they attacked the Capitol, so, yeah, so he fought terrorists. So, yeah. I don't know where I'm going at this point. Really nowhere. But anyway, then the king showed up. The actual king, not just the wizard king, but the king showed up and was humiliated because nobody likes him. And then he announced the Royal Knights squad, where they're going to be holding a tournament to determine who of the Magic Knights will be a part of the elite strike force known as the Royal Knights, who will take on the Eye of the Midnight Sun. So yeah. That is pretty much where we left off. Oh, and Asta and Yuno ran into the new captain of the Crimson Lions, who is, she's fiery. Let's say that. She's got a bit of a temper. So, yeah. It'll be interesting. But yeah, like always, the reaction is down in the description and in the pinned comment for your viewing pleasure. So let's go ahead and jump right into this episode of Black Clover. Here we go. Oh, what was her name? What was her name in Full Metal Alchemist? I can't remember. I just remember Armstrong. What was her name? Olivier Mira Armstrong. That's what she is. That's what Marioliona Vermilion. That's what she is. Just, you know what? Every so often, you get a decent way into a show. You just have to introduce a really strong, really fierce woman that will kick your ass. It's just it's a new mandate for all anime now. You have to introduce a character like that at some point. So, oh goodness gracious. All right, so an interesting hot spring. I do like this. I do like, at least though, that it's like, well. And it is kind of what I said, you know? It is kind of what I said with the whole thing about the Royal Knights of like, oh, well, we don't have everybody here. But I will say at the very least, it's like, okay, we have Asta, we have Yuno, and we have Noelle. And it's just like, well, by golly, I guess we'll take that. I guess I'll take what I can get. And, I mean, I like that pretty much all of them have a purpose. Soul doesn't exactly. She was just kind of brought along, but all of them have a purpose in what can I just call her Mireille? I think that's how they said it, like how they shortened it. They all have a purpose in Mireille's desire to, you know, toughen up the Crimson Lions, you know? And it's interesting because it's like, yeah, they sort of introduce her and it's just like, oh man, she's terrible. But it just immediately, it's just like, no. It's tough love. And it's like, you know, and what she's saying is true, you know? The fact that the Crimson Lions were in such disarray to get 5th place, 5 of 9, like, that is pretty bad. That is pretty bad. And, it's like, oh, just because you lose your captain, you fall so low. Like, the Crimson Lions are supposed to be either first or second. They have never gotten below that ever, which is also interesting. That means, at least last year, they placed higher than the Silver Eagles, who came in third then, most likely. Which they came in third this year, but still. But the Crimson Lions fell so hard after losing Fuegoleon, but if anything, they should not have fallen that hard, So, now they're being taken through the most ridiculous possible training that she can think of, which is having them climb a fucking volcano. But that is the perfect way of especially developing their skills, especially using the mana skin. So, and very, very clever of who, the extras that she decided to bring, She brought Yami and Charlotte because the two of them are captains. The two of them can get to the top, They can get to the top just fine. However, it's already inspiring to them to see that could be you. You could be a Magic Knight captain. That is, the thing you need to achieve. And also, that not only can you be a Magic Knight captain, you can be a Magic Knight captain who's not exactly suited to this and still go up there with no problems. Because, number one, Yami is a screw-up. I mean, that's just his defect. Second off, Charlotte, she has a severe weakness to fire, Her attribute being, more plant-based is weak to fire, and yet she's going up there, at pretty much the same pace as Yami. So that's good. Then you have Yuno. You have Yuno, who's going up there relatively well. He is keeping his power, in check, and he's going up there better than anyone else in the Crimson Lions. And he is of their generation, He is their age. He is a rookie, basically. And so that will inspire them. And then there's the two in the back that can also inspire them. Because there's the girl who can't control her magic very well, who has resolved herself to keep going. And then there's the boy that doesn't have magic whatsoever, Showing that even the lowest of low-born guys and the highest of high-born girls can still make it up there. And all of that interconnected, can inspire the Crimson Lions to take this training and truly make it to the top. And that's great. That is absolutely brilliant. I thought she was just getting everybody that she felt like, but no. All of that, every single person she took along with the Crimson Lions was all for a purpose. That is that's smart, And obviously they spell it out for us pretty much by the end. They spell it out for us at the end, but that just immediately shows it's like, oh, she is smart, Like, it's basically a thing of like, oh, we don't need to talk about, even though, again, they did kind of explain it to us, but it's just like, they explained it to us, but it's such good reasoning, and especially showing it after, basically. Showing it at the end of the episode. It's like, alright, I see what we're doing here. I think that was very, very clever, and that just shows how strong and how powerful she is, even just with her mind, let alone her actual fucking magic, So that was good. And I like the inspiring talks that she had with both Asta and Noelle, which again, her talk with Noelle, if anything, it mirrors the talk that Noelle had with Fuegoleon, Like that was a very inspirational thing. And again, it highlights the differences between the Vermilions and the Silvas, Because we talk about that with Noelle, where it's like, I don't think he actively hates Noelle. Obviously he blames Noelle for the death of their mother. But I think he just doesn't really think about Noelle. He doesn't acknowledge that she even exists, really. It's just, she's weak, moving on. Whereas the fucking Crimson Lions, the Vermilions, the fucking great people that they are, they need to be the next, king. The Vermilions need to produce the next king, not the Silvas. But But yeah, it's like Fuegoleon, looking at her and just being like, you are weak. Why are you weak? Who says I am weak? You are weak. But then saying it's like, you're weak, so get stronger. Like, get good already, It's okay to be weak, but it's bad to stay weak, And that inspired her, and, she's come all this way, and now Mirai, she sees that. She sees that, she's not, that Noelle is not the little girl who is scared of her siblings, She sees, okay, you have grown up, And she acknowledges, giving this inspirational, speech to Noelle, that it's just like, I see a lot of your mother in you. Her mother that Noelle never knew. And I bet you nobody told her about that either. I bet you nobody told Noelle about her mother either. Because everyone in her family fucking hates her, for being born. I'm sure nobody told her about her mother. But we see her. She was a magic knight. Isn't that fucking great? She was a magic knight and she was strong. And it's interesting too, because the way that they talk about it, the way that they show it in that scene, it's very clear to Mirai and Fuegoleon that it's just like, she is at risk right now. But they don't chalk it up to a thing of like, well, she knows she's going to die, or, she has this terminal disease that, this will probably kill her if she has this pregnancy or something. Like, they don't really say anything like that. They just know she is at a huge risk giving birth to a child, And it's interesting that the way they do that, because, it could so easily be that it's just like, well, she had a terminal disease, or she was very weak, or yada yada, or this, that, and this, and it's just like, well, no, she was strong, she was healthy, but for some reasons, like, they're all just kind of worried, like knowing that she will probably die from this pregnancy, and it's just like, and they're concerned about it, and it's just like, why would you do this, and stuff, and it's just like, honestly, I like that, because it's not even all of this, it's because I think it's because of the world. Because, quite honestly, because this is a fucking medieval fantasy. And yes, there is magic. There's a lot of this stuff. But I'm willing to bet that medicine is not as advanced as medicine today. And pregnancy is a fucking risk. Like, there was there was another show I was watching. It was an isekai, but basically, as the episodes went on, this guy, he had this relationship with this princess, and she was like, oh well, why don't we have a child? And he was like, don't want that. Let's keep waiting. Like, and every episode he was like, let's keep waiting before we have a kid. And I remember seeing comments about it where people were like, yeah, because he's probably trying to improve medicine as much as he fucking can, so that a pregnancy is not a risk. And it's like, I bet that's just all it is here. That's just it. They are worried. Fuegoleon is crying because it's like, this is a huge risk to have a child in this day and age. And she's on number 4, She's on number 4. She's had 3 children already, but that doesn't mean, well, she's really good at it, so she can move on. It's just like, no, it is a risk. It is a fucking risk in this day and age, They kind of, they kind of do that on the Apothecary Diaries too. Like, they show the fucking risks and challenges involved with a pregnancy, and it's just like, and I like that that's really just it. Like, it's not some bigger thing like a prophecy or or anything like that, or she's terminally ill. It's like, no, she's just fucking pregnant, and that is a risk, even for a strong magic knight like Aesir is, or was, that was still a risk. But she did it. She did it because that was her duty as a mother, because her duty as a mother was as strong as her duty as a magic knight. So, even with the risk, she had to do that, and she did, and it brought Noelle into the world. It unfortunately took her out of it, but it brought Noelle into the world, And she wouldn't have had it any other way, pretty much, And that is exactly what Noelle fucking needed. Now she's off. She's off to the races, ladies and gentlemen. Fuck! So good. It's so good. And then Asta... I like that too, we're talking about his luck, you know? It's like, oh, you know, this seems to be where your luck has gotten you, you know? It's like, well, you've been lucky up to this point, but your luck's run out, you can't make it up there. And it's like, well, but you are still pretty lucky. You know, if you just go home, you could maybe be the magic, or the magic emperor. Now I'm starting to be gaslit by the subtitles on here. I wonder if magic emperor is actually more of a accurate translation, I don't know, than Wizard King. But it's like, you could be the Wizard King. Maybe you'll be lucky enough to be the Wizard King, even though you can't climb that mountain. And Ashes is like, no, I'm not leaving it up to fucking luck. I'm gonna make it up there. So he's on his way too. Oh, good grief, man. Show's so fucking good. I can't deal with it. I can't deal with it half the time. It's so fucking good, but yeah. Someday we're gonna get to this fucking tournament. Like we keep putting it off. Like this is gonna be like a 2-episode tournament, which is fine, by the way. I don't mind. It's just like the fact that and the guy with the like face covering thing are such a big part of the OP and the ED for this arc. I am just kind of sat here like, well, they're gonna get to it someday. But it's fine. It's fine. I like where we're going. I like what we're doing right now. So yeah, that is basically it. With all of that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. There's a bunch of links on screen if you want to go click around any of those. There's a playlist with all of my Black Clover reactions, as well as another video you can go click on if you want. There's also a subscribe button and a Patreon button on screen, as well as other links in the description if you want to go check out any of those. See you guys later.